Please welcome Janet Varney and Greg Cipes to the stage. Oh, and a third guest whose name I was not given.
Buddha.
Buddha, a.k.a. Wingman.
All right. And please welcome Buddha to the stage as well. Not too loud, we don't want to startle the guests. Thank you guys so much for being here.
I can't. I'm not going to be able to. I'm in love.
Welcome to Let's Watch a Dog Drink Water, the panel, everybody.
I would go to that panel.
Yeah, I would as well. I'm enamored right now.
It's one of my favorite sounds in the whole world is listening to him drink. It's like a babbling creek. You know.
That's right. That's right.
You want to give it to him, Buddha?
So thank you guys so much for being here and for bringing your pets. We appreciate that as well. We're a very animal-friendly state.
I'm his pet. Yeah, dog, bless you all. Thanks for having us.
No, we are all going to be so distracted by the animal that's on stage. Who okayed this? This was horrible planning.
I just feel he really makes meaningful eye contact. I wish each one of you could have the meaningful eye contact with Buddha that I feel like I'm having right now. Yes.
We're never apart. He's in every recording session, every business meeting, every flight. The only time we're not together is if I'm on a surfboard.
Oh, you're so cute.
And usually he's on the beach with a hot chick watching me.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. Oh, boy. Okay. All right, boy. All right. Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going to focus.
We're focusing in.
We're going to rein it in.
Focusing in.
Well, thank you guys for being here.
Yeah.
Thanks for having
Really
us.
appreciate it. And all right, so this is the I Know That Voice panel. So the first question I want to ask is if you guys tend to see, I mean, I know with a voice actor, it's more like not when you walk by or something, but when someone hears your voice, do you find that a lot of dudes who look like me are like staring at you pretty much everywhere you go?
No.
No.
No, I think I've only been recognized for my voice a couple of times. Where
Okay.
like I was at the Walt Disney Concert Hall seeing some like cool organ thing, and the two people sitting in front of me finally turned around and were like, "It is." So they recognized it.
So
and
from in front of you, so it is like a we don't need to see you
behind
thing.
me. Yeah, it's better if they don't see you because
Right.
then they can just think that they're not getting distracted by
Sure.
like a different face. But then someone at when I was checking out at a grocery store one time, again, not looking at me, just hearing the voice. But if someone's looking at my face, I don't think they even think about it.
Well, I mean, you also have Janet has a very intimidating Wikipedia page, everybody, if you're not familiar. The like voice acting is actually not where I know your voice from. I know you from Spontanea Nation with Paul F. Tompkins. And a number of, you get very far down her Wikipedia page before it mentions that she co-founded a very, very famous comedy festival in California.
Oh, boy. Well, you got to keep busy. Some of us have anxiety and have to stay very busy.
So do I. That's why we're all making eye contact with a dog up here.
I know. That's why we're so
Greg,
soothed.
what about you? Do you find a lot of, because I mean, you have a very broad scope of kind of nerd properties that you might have some dorky dudes like myself staring at you when that voice comes up.
What are you talking about? You look pretty cool to me, dude. Yeah, I think mostly it's children of all ages, really.
Sure, absolutely, yeah, and that's kind of the demographic that you're tapped into.
You're just a big kid.
Yes, we all see the bright colors, sir.
It's mostly dogs that recognize me.
And those are just Buddha's fans. They're not even.
It's true.
Yeah.
You know, Wingman is now in the DC universe. He's Beast Boy's dog. He's in Young Justice as himself in a corgi form. They didn't want to pay me for the actual rights to use his image. so they used his name, but they drew him kind of like a corgi, which he still made it, though.
He looks like he resents that fact right now. There is intense eye contact going on right
Teen
now.
Titans Go, he shows up as, does anybody know the name they gave him? For $1,000. You have 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Too late. I can't even remember, but they gave him some name and they made him red, but it looks more like him.
That's so funny.
So yeah, he's taking over the world.
Yeah.
He is.
You're all getting the intense eye contact from the dog now. I hope you all caught it. Do you find, Greg, that is there a difference between the demographics in your Children of All Ages fans? Like, is a Ben 10 fan easy to spot versus like a Teen Titan fan?
No.
No.
I mean, other than somebody might come up with an Omnitrix on their arm or a Ben 10 shirt, it's hard to tell.
Okay, so wear identifiers is what he's telling everybody.
My fans are vast and they range in diversity from my Fast and Furious fans, where I play a character named Dwight on Fast and Furious and I suck on toes, so that's a whole nother demographic.
So you can probably tell them when they're approaching that want to talk about that character.
Yeah.
Versus a
But
Ben
those are the
10
same guys that like Beast Boy, so it's
do you find that when you're doing, you mentioned Beast Boy, are there subtle inflections? Did you change anything for the 2 iterations of the character?
Well, yeah. I still remember the first Teen Titans Go recording session, and the president of Warner Brothers, Sam Register, came into the room. He's like, "Just make this version of Beast Boy even more like you," and I did. And really, I just channel Wingman, because he's a rascal. All the greatest qualities in the universe are in Buddha here: patience, compassion, loyalty, beauty, innocence, rascality. All these things I channel into Beast Boy. But the original Beast Boy that I helped create in the original Teen Titans was definitely a lot more innocent. But over time, we lose our innocence. In Teen Titans Go, Beast Boy is really very. He's not as innocent. He's very irreverent.
I thought you were gonna say not as innocent, so like more mature. I was like, so it was kind of a beast man that you were.
No,
channeling.
he kind of reversed. He's less mature.
I think that fits the tone though for
Yeah.
Teen Titans Go versus
Yeah.
the original show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just a part of my personality that I get to play with in those dimensions. Because usually I'm just his servant in real life. I serve him, and I take shelter under his lotus feet.
Now, Janet, we obviously haven't even mentioned the Legend of Korra yet, which is the reason that you're on the voice actor panel. Did you put any of like yourself or your pets in the character when you were kind of forming that at its conception?
Well, I'm definitely going to retcon this so that I'm going to say I put this Buddha into my performance. So that's now canon.
You turned his kissing machine on. I love this.
I definitely did.
I love these kisses.
Oh man, it really looks like that's. I love when dogs are like, "This is my job." Like the intention is like, I need to complete this kissing.
These are very passionate kisses right now. These are like him thanking me for telling you all about him.
Yeah.
And his greatness.
Yeah, I'm like, can I call you wingman? I'm feeling like you're his wingman.
Yeah.
Is that what's happening?
Yeah.
I think like any acting job, this is such a cliche to say, but if you can pull from things that you can relate to, that's absolutely going to lend credibility to the character. It's also why I think so many actors are drawn to playing adversarial, like characters who are maybe villains, if you want to use that word, but because the sort of mining yourself and humanity to understand why that person is the way they are and why they think the way they think.
Sure.
I feel like I talk about Azula maybe more than I talk about Korra because I do this podcast with Dante Bosco now called Braving the Elements. We're in our second season and we're going through the entirety of Avatar: The Last Airbender all the way through Korra. So we'll be doing this for many years, and surely we'll cover all the Avatar Studios stuff as it comes out. But that's something that I love talking about, and everyone else seems to too, is like really trying to understand the people who are doing the things that are maybe the most questionable. But Coral, she has elements that are unlikable in that she's a teenager, trying to understand, like being let out into a world with all of these kind of expectations about herself, about other people, and using sarcasm to sort of protect herself. And the sarcasm to protect herself thing was the thing I understood immediately in the character description when I auditioned for her. It was like, oh, well, I wouldn't know anything about that. I'm sure I'll get this part. I did not think I was going to get it, and it was shocking when I did.
Well, we mentioned that you're a stand-up comedian, so sarcasm is kind of how we communicate. So yeah, that's
Zero stand-up comedy, only improv.
Really?
I've never done stand-up.
that's
no.
all right.
Yeah, it's wildly intimidating. I like to have a whole group of people so we can lift each other up if we're not at our best. But
I like to be the sole
stand-ups, it's
focus
all
of
you.
attention.
It's a lot to have on your shoulders, my friend.
I honestly now am just wishing that there was some way I could work in being on stage just having a dog that I can divert to anytime it gets awkward, because this is a dream come true.
The greatest gift you could ever give yourself is a dog.
Agreed.
Cats are cool, but they're not a dog.
Now, do you guys have a favorite moment or a favorite episode in any of your voice acting endeavors that really comes to mind when people are asking kind of an experience that you've had? Is there like a
Go first.
As you're like Rolodex of everything I've done, and I'm like, voiceover, that's easy.
Right.
I got to be Wonder Woman in the Injustice movie. And that was wild. But yeah, for Legend of Korra, I mean, for sure the fourth season, that's when the stuff that was kind of had the deepest impact on me and was the most relatable in some ways to me happened. And then, the end episode when she walks off onto a vacation in the spirit world with Asami was just a very beautiful moment and something that, continues to kind of resonate as I meet people and do cons like this.
So spoilers, everybody, but I'm glad that moment meant a lot to you.
If you're here because you like that show, but you haven't watched it till the end, what is happening?
I'm in.
Why?
I'm in that show.
What did you do in the show?
Who knows?
You don't remember.
You're wrong.
Yeah.
It's not no, you're right, but my brother Mike is wrong. Two. Not Tao. I think it's 2.
That sounds right.
Yeah. So yeah, I was in that show. It was fun. Memorable things from animated shows.
For you, we can even simplify it a little bit. If you have a favorite character of your Rolodex that Janet was talking about, of characters that you voice, if there's one that you really love doing the most.
I really do love them all, but having been the first actor to create Beast Boy and to see what I've been able to do as far as making Beast Boy who he is today has been kind of one of the most special things ever.
Absolutely. And I definitely, as soon as I heard that voice, was like, yeah, that's Beast Boy. I very much identify your voice with the character. So.
But I'm also so fond of my Michelangelo.
As well you should be, yeah.
Because when I got the role, thank you. When I got the role, they're like, we don't want a Mikey like there's ever been. And even with the catchphrase that I got to come up with Ciro, Booyakasha, it was all just very much because I grew up watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It was my favorite show as a boy, so I was already Mikey, so I didn't really have to do anything.
That's very much like the dream that I'm sure everyone in this room can be very jealous of, is I think when you're a part of those fandoms as a kid, you do kind of have that, I want to grow up to be one of these characters type of thing, and to actually get to do that is otherworldly.
It was one of the coolest phone calls I've ever got when they're like, you got the role. I was like, what? I still don't even really feel like it was real. But when I get to see Ciro and Kevin Eastman and we all unite and rejoice in the fact that we get to be a part of this world, and especially Kevin for creating it. And Ciro, I mean, those guys put so much love and work into their art. They're the highest level masters, so working with them is so cool.
Fantastic. Well, let's go ahead. Let's open it up. If people in the crowd want to, go ahead, form a line. Let's get some questions going for Janet, Greg, or Buddha, if you want to ask a question of the reason we're all here. Go ahead.
That's right.
So, Greg, I just want to say the first time I ever heard your voice was in a little show called Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go.
Another Ciro Nieli show.
Yeah.
Way ahead of its time.
Yeah,
Amazing.
definitely. And I think I speak for all of us when I say we are praying for Young Justice to get renewed again.
Me too.
Yeah. And Janet, hopefully Brian and Dante call you back for an animated movie based on Korra.
Oh yeah, I mean, I just am showing up for the podcast. Like I'm like, I'll just talk about it as a fan forever. So I trust them to make amazing stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so my question is for you, Janet. If you could choose one bender to help you take on the team of Azula and Ozai,
Oh man.
who would you choose? But you cannot choose an avatar and you cannot choose Zuko.
Zahir? Let's see what he gets up to. Let's see if we can point that in the Ozai Azula direction.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, great question. Hey, Clay.
Hi. You remembered my name.
No.
Well, afraid so.
I can't gush enough about both of you. Like Korra is this amazing character in this amazing world, and it's so cool that you're a part of it, and you did such a good job. And then Beast Boy and Michelangelo. Do I have to say anything else? Like,
Nothing.
so like,
Thank you.
I remember 2003, and I first saw Teen Titans. Thought it was the coolest thing, and like your voice was so like, I was just like, that's it, that's him, that's the character. So I
Thank
can't
you.
gush enough. Like,
Thank you. Thank you.
My question is, that's not exact question. Can you both of you walk us through your casting calls for Korra and Beast Boy, respectively?
Korra first.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I definitely was just kind of getting into voiceover. I had done a Nickelodeon pilot in which I played a sarcastic unicorn. Again, sarcasm, that's a through line. And I like auditioned forward at my voiceover agents, and then I got called back to Nickelodeon, and then I got called back to Nickelodeon again. There may have been one more. At some point, they did kind of a chemistry thing with Faustino and PJ and me. But even then, they had other people that they were kind of testing with, playing with a little bit. And so, there's a lot of the time, there's a long space between those auditions, right, Greg? Like, you do that, and then you have 2 months to be like, well, that didn't go anywhere because I probably would have heard by now. And then you get another call back, and then a lot of time passes. And then some time passed before I found out I got it. So it helps because you can get over something. So by the time they do cast it, if it's not you, you're like, you should be in the moment, and you should have, like that. Those were each performances of that character I may never do again, and they were one-offs, and they were special, and that was great. But like your phone call about being Michelangelo, I definitely, when I got the call that I had gotten the part, I was in Joann's Fabrics buying some like doodads because I like to craft, and yeah, he told me that I got it, and I like screamed and jumped up and down, and a bunch of adorable old ladies were like, "What? Like we've never seen this in Joann's." And yeah, so it didn't. And again, I totally relate to like, did it happen? Was it real? So but it was just it's not like somebody some people are like, what attracted you to Korra? And I'm like, I got an audition for it. That's what drew me to it. I was lucky enough to audition for it. So yeah, that's my story. What about you?
Beast Boy was my first animation audition, and before I had some auditions for like McDonald's commercials, and I would take like 5-6 hours of recording myself, and I would send them in on my own, but I never got anything until I was sent to Warner Brothers Animation, and I saw a picture of Beast Boy and a character description, and yo, how came this voice? And like it was like 5 months later, I felt like I was doing a movie in Mexico called Club Dread. The Super Troopers guys, Broken Lizard.
Yeah.
Club Dread was not as good as Super Troopers, but I got a call. They're like, "You got this role. It's a big deal." And I was like, "Cool." And I didn't really know how big of a deal it would be and how it changed my life, but that's how it all started.
It's awesome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Hello there to the both of you. I just got to say, growing up watching Teen Titans, watching Beast Boy just be Beast Boy in himself, it reminded me so much of younger me. Small, ADHD-filled, hyperactive, can't focus on anything. Ooh, look, a dog. Exactly that. And I just want to say thank you for making a character that I could relate to as a child. And again, thank you for that. And then Janet.
All glories to Wingman.
Absolutely. We can't live without Wingmen, right?
All glories to Wingman.
Absolutely. And then Janet, I just gotta say, watching Korra from beginning to end, from the first season to season 4, there is so much character development. It is absolutely crazy. I don't know if there are any Star Wars fans in here, but I kind of relate her character development to Ahsoka Tano in the Clone Wars series.
Yeah.
Because we start off with this angsty teenager who she gets mad at the slightest things, and she's ignorant, doesn't want to take lessons from her elders, and then by season 4, she is teaching other people after learning all the lessons that she went through.
Yeah.
And I think that is just absolutely amazing with any character.
Yeah.
And my question for you is, out of all of the villains that she fights throughout all of her seasons, what villain do you think left a permanent mark on her, whether it be physical, mental, emotional?
I mean, I already uttered his name. I mean, he's just an amazingly terrifying villain.
Absolutely.
But one of the things that's so cool about Kuvira coming after him is you sort of have that, like, well, what could be worse? And it's not necessarily about worse. It's about what's the next lesson that you need to learn. And, obviously we get to see Toph again.
Yes.
And get this wisdom about, again, like we were talking about earlier too, with adversaries and villains, so to speak, is like what's someone's journey? What is the arc? What's the road that leads them there? What makes a Zuko and what makes an Azula if they come from the same family? All that kind of stuff. And so it's really hard to choose. Obviously, the spirit world stuff is huge. I mean, everything has such huge ramifications in Korra that just resonate, that just sort of continue out. But I mean, Zahir was, that created like the PTS that she
I was gonna say,
went through and
really developed her fear for the first time. Like that was one thing that I never saw going up to that season, was she fought like everything from trying to learn after she didn't want to learn. She had physical capability issues, but after that season, she developed a general fear, and that she had to come over to be able to connect back to the Avatar world, and that's why I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah, and it's such a big version of the things that we often have to deal with, and understanding like something can happen to you and you don't just get over it.
Absolutely.
You just find out how to have a relationship with it over time. And for me, the worst stuff that's happened to me has brought me the closest to other people, and so I wouldn't change that. But it's hard to, on the outside, you're like, oh no, I wish that didn't happen to you. But when it's you and you know what you got from it, you're like, honestly, don't worry about it. Like, I'm glad, So that to me was a really, really big deal.
That is absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, the two of you.
Oh, thank you.
First of all, I just want to say it is an honor to meet you guys, and despite my 3 years of being at Comic-Con, this is the first time I've been to a panel, so I just want to throw that out there.
And that's because of Buddha.
Yeah.
I guess my biggest question that I want to ask Greg Cipes is, what would it be like if Michelangelo met Beast Boy?
I'm right here.
That's literally all I had to ask. Thank you guys for having this be my first panel that I got to witness, and I hope you all have an amazing journey in your voice acting careers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you both for being here. My question for you, Mr. Cipes, is, so in the Teen Titans fandom, people really like to latch on to the whole Beast Boy-Raven relationship. From your perspective, why do you think that is? Why do you think the fans are so interested in that relationship?
Well, Tara Strong and I, we really love each other. She's one of my best friends on the planet, and we've been kind of seeding their love for each other in the show since the very beginning. And we've definitely influenced the BB Ray ship in a big way, to the point where we have a podcast called The Ship It Show. Has anybody seen The Ship It Show? Raise your hand if you've seen The Ship It Show. Just one? definitely today go and check out the Shiffa Show on YouTube. Subscribe. We've done a lot of really cool episodes, but it's because of Tara Strong and I's love for each other, and it's really cool to see how us being playful with our friendship has affected the whole universe essentially.
Great answer. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello. As a sort of voice actor fanatic, it is really cool to meet you both. I have a question for both of you, and that is, what are some of your favorite line reads you've ever done?
Oh, we got it.
Or line deliveries? Oh, beautiful baby.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
I want to be able to hear that.
As an elegant answer.
Yeah.
Yay! You're doing great. I believe in you.
So does that answer your question, or did you want?
Absolutely.
Water is his favorite food. Take a moment of enjoying this.
It is so close to the white noise app I used to sleep. I seriously am like.
It's amazing.
Good job, Buddha.
Good job.
Thanks for that.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Good boy. What was the question?
I know the glory of the dog. My question was, what are some of your favorite line deliveries or line reads you've ever done for any of your characters?
Oh boy. Line reads.
Yo, mama. That's it.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's I mean, obviously I know favorite quotes. I'm trying to think if that is different than like line reads. The one that for some reason the one that springs to mind is mornings are evil. Because at the time I really felt that way. Now I'm a bit of an early riser. Who knew?
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hey, Sarah.
Oh, you remembered my name. That's so
You better believe it.
Yeah, I mean, I was there like 20 minutes ago, so.
Don't ruin it.
I'm sorry. I revealed the secret.
That's
Ruined the
amazing, though,
trick.
that you can remember anybody's name. I could barely remember my own name.
That's
The worst
facts.
part if there's one of you in line whose name for some reason I blank on, then I'm like such a bigger asshole than I would be if I didn't remember anyone.
Oh
you
yeah,
know what
it
I mean?
helps that
It's a mistake.
We're together again,
It's a
so
mistake.
you get the pair.
Yeah, but we had the conversation about like the friend who hasn't watched Avatar,
Yeah.
but I don't think you told
Yeah.
me your name.
I'm Bella.
Bella, you did not tell me your name.
Oh, yeah. So I actually have a question for you. We know that there's the whole like Avatar Studios thing that's happening in the animated movie and the live action series. But if they continue on with like post Korra, is there anything that you want to see animated that like you could be a part of, like past what we know of Korra?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like there are so many time periods, like predating Korra, that I want to see because I'm so curious about, like so many of us. Not just, I mean, there obviously is stuff that is covered in the amazing books and comics,
Yeah.
but even within that, there are gaps that I would love to see filled, or just characters that we've heard a little about, or avatars we know a tiny bit about that, that I would love to know more about. I don't know, like, where my voice fits in, I don't know. But I've certainly told the guys, like, if you want me to voice, a teacup, I'm so happy to do that.
Be the new Cabbage Man.
I'll sell cabbage. We gotta save that
Do
one
like
for
the
James
Cabbage
C.
Man ancestor.
Yeah, there you go.
So, but like Avatar Kyoshi, but it's like the yeah.
Or just
Cabbage
the
Man.
cabbage.
Yeah.
Like this whole
that works
time
too.
we find out he's
Yeah.
been talking to a cabbage, like it's real. There's a reason that he's like, I mean, he cabbage bends. He has a relationship to cabbages.
You don't talk to cabbages?
It's weird. I talk to cauliflower, and for some reason I feel like I'm being disloyal if I talk to cabbages.
Broccoli is a really close friend of mine.
Broccoli is so smart. Broccoli makes me feel like I don't know enough.
Me and kale, though.
Yeah. Kale's awesome.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Sarah. Thanks, Bella. Hi.
Hi.
Now I know.
So mine's actually for Greg. First of all, thank you for literally my entire childhood, which was the OG Teen Titans. To the point, like, my dad, who is right there, made sure I had literally everything possible for the original Teen Titans show. And I just wanted to know if you have any preference on Raven or Terra with Beast Boy.
What's your preference?
Honestly, this is not going to help you because I like them both.
Me too. Beast Boy's got a lot of love to give, yo.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
My question's for Janet. There was a change in the bending forms from, obviously, Korra from the original. Did you prefer visually the more boxing and, MMA style, or the traditional martial arts styles?
Boy. I've never thought about whether I had any kind of preference at all about the bending, because I'm just in awe of all of it. And getting to talk to Sifu Kisu and Brian Konetsko about how the bending was shaped, which we haven't even gotten to Korra yet. So we're totally going to have the conversation of, like, how are you adapting? How are you changing when you go pro bending? Like, what does that conversation look like? I mean, again, I'm living in Avatar: The Last Airbender right now, so I'm so focused on just Toph, for example. Just watching an earthbender move is so inspiring to me. So I'm sort of in that mode, especially knowing that, the praying mantis style was ostensibly, like, legendarily designed by a blind woman, and they didn't know that when they created Toph and her bending style. I was like, what? Doesn't seem like a coincidence. That's just a beautiful universe thing. So that's kind of the space that I'm in. But I know that, like, from a technical perspective of what they can animate, like, Mike and Brian and Sifu Kisu were so excited for Korra because there were just advances in what you could do and how you could show the moves. That's, like, such a non-answer, but yet I talked about 5 things about it. So is that good?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey there. So my question's for Greg. Considering that you were a big Ninja Turtles fanatic and that you got to voice Mikey in the 2012 series, who is my all-time favorite character and my very first favorite Ninja Turtle, what was it like for you when you got cast into the predecessor series, Rise of the TMNT?
As Sheldon,
Yeah, as Sheldon.
it was cool. Just to be a part of the continuation of being part of the turtledom. But for me, it's bittersweet, because for me, like, being Mikey is one of my favorite things to do. So it was always like, even when I was doing Sheldon, I was still being Mikey, another version of Mikey. But it was cool. I mean, there's so much being created with the Ninja Turtles that it kind of all kind of goes together, and when something is successful, it helps everything. So it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're still my favorite Mikey, bro.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey guys, so I had a question for each of you. My first question is, when you were doing Teen Titans, you voiced not only Beast Boy, but you also voiced yourself for an episode. Mm-hmm. How did that process go down? Did you have any input on how that scene played out?
Yeah, they let us improv a bunch, actually. So it was very just playful, us being ourselves. Me and Tara were, taking selfies all the time and making videos during our sessions, and they put it in the cartoon. But it's just very real. That's one of the cool things about Teen Titans Go, is that we could be, like, in between recording a script and just talking to each other as a cast, and they'll be listening in, and they'll wind up writing an episode based on us just chatting with each other.
That's so cool.
Sometimes it's cool, sometimes it isn't. But it is cool, though. It's so creative and unlimited, and I think that's why our show is so successful. It's the #1 show on Cartoon Network and has been for almost 20 years.
That's so cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
And sorry. And Janet, I just wanted to ask, at like what point did they let you know that Korra and Azami were gonna end up together? What was that process like?
Yeah, I can't remember like in the chronology of us recording when it happened. I just remember Mike and Brian like sort of taking Seychelles and I aside at a recording, and I mean, I feel like we went out of that Studio A or whatever. It's been a long time since I've been there, but and then there's just like a little gap between the two bathrooms, and so we're standing between the two bathrooms, and they were like, "We just want to let you know, this is like what the this is the way the characters have grown and developed, and like they told us, that this was happening, and so that's sort of we've just been letting that develop and grow as felt natural." And we both started crying immediately. We were like, "Oh my God, this is so amazing! Like, this is so cool!" Because we just knew, there wasn't a lot. Even now there's still, but like there's still stuff that there are definitely young people that I meet who someone a little older than them is like, "Oh, no, it was such a big deal that Korra and Asami were canon," and they're like, "Why is it a big deal?" And we're like, "Exactly, like yes, you can be, like what? That's fine. That's a fine reaction. That should be the reaction." So it just, and then again, like getting that full circle of people, meeting people, cons who came out to their parents because of Korrasami and stuff is like, I'll never be able to repay that, just the joy and the privilege of getting to be a part of those stories, even hearing them is like amazing,
Well, people worship both of you guys. Thank you very much.
Oh man, thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
Hi, guys. Any general advice for someone looking to get into the biz? I'm going to start recording a series of audiobooks, and
cool.
I'm taking some voice classes. I've done some acting, and I'm like, I've only dabbled in it, but this is fun.
Yeah, pretty fun, huh?
If you could just tell me how to make $1 million in your industry, that would be great.
I would love someone to tell me how to do that. No, I mean, this may be true for you as well, Greg, but we always point people to D. Bradley Baker's amazing website, iwannabeavoiceactor.com. He's part of every fandom, he's part of every universe out there, and he didn't have to do this, but he built this amazing resource online that I can go to find out like what gear he recommends for his home studio, who've had more experience, but you can go there with zero experience at all, and he sort of walks you through like, take acting classes, take improv classes, find people you like to make stuff with, all that kind of stuff. But like the amount of time he has put into that, talk about giving back. He's just doing that out of the kind of his heart because he believes in people and knows that like anyone can do it. So that's the hub as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and just do it all. Like, get sock puppets, read books, just, yo, man, what's going on? How you all doing? This is Mr. Hand. For real. Literally, just that character right there that I came up with, Mr. Hand, I developed the whole show with Klasky, Arlene Klasky, she created Rugrats. But so you never know, just being playful, what will happen, and that's really the place to start is be playful, do it because you love it, and do everything you can, acting classes, and make your own stuff, shoot it, work with other people who are just beginning or whatever, just don't limit yourself at all.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Hunter. I have a question about voice acting because it's something I've been very passionate about. Actually, a week from this Monday, I'm going to be starting voice acting school out of Canada, so that's fun.
Nice.
How do you prepare to go behind the mic? Like, do you get physical? Do you have to get in a certain mindset for when you start recording? What's something you do to just personally prep for a scene?
Boy. My biggest anxiety now is like how dry or wet is my mouth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what do I need to eat an apple? Do I need to chew some gum? Where am I with that? Weirdly, that is kind of a big deal. Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on how well you know the character you're going in with. If it's an audition, then, you know, it's kind of just about making a choice and then also having the flexibility to completely upend that choice. You know, if they're like, I love everything you just did. Unfortunately, that character was too old, too raspy, too this, too that, you know. Could you do something completely different? And to be willing to go, oh, okay, well, that didn't work. Sure. Which is sometimes the hardest part, because if you prepare something really carefully, you get set in your mind. Like, that's the groove I've gone down, and it's hard to take that adjustment. So I always say improv's great, too, because you learn to fail, and you learn how wonderful it is to fail, because it opens up doors in your brain that you didn't know you had. Again, not an answer to your question. I'll go back to a wet and dry mouth.
And that really has to do with your health, because as an actor, this is your tool, your vessel, and without your health, you can't perform. So a plant-based diet, you know, getting off of dairy, which is blood and pus, this limits the mucus in your body, gets rid of it basically. And, you know, exercise and breathing correctly and all those things are very important for preparation to be an actor, especially a voice actor.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Great point.
Hi.
Serena, not Katrina. Katrina's your girlfriend, yeah.
So, Janet, I wanted to say that Korra has just been one of those shows that has had a really strong meaning in my heart. It was one of the first things that I showed my girlfriend after we started dating, after, of course, Avatar: The Last Airbender, and it's been one of those shows that really stuck with me so much. And I guess my question is, so a lot of shows nowadays have started to add in kind of queer characters, you know, things like Steven Universe and the Owl House with Mae Whitman. Yeah, She-Ra. But with Mae Whitman as Amity, you know, I guess my biggest question is, looking at it nowadays, how does it feel knowing that Korrasami was just one of that big first domino falls before how it is today?
It's amazing. It's amazing. I mean, again, like, just getting to do season 1 was life-changing. And so the gift of these kind of monumental things happening in the show, including, you know, what Korra goes through before she ends up with Asami, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. It's, you know, I mean, so much of what my life is shaped like now in terms of, like, do you feel like you've done something that mattered if I die tomorrow? Such a large part of that is connected to doing, you know, something in the Avatar world. And that's like a great comfort, you know? It's like, I can't, no matter what I screw up from here on out, like, that all happened. And I'm so grateful for it. I'll never take it for granted. I'll never take it for granted.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Serena.
Guys, we are running out of time. We really have time for like one more question, but we have 2 people in line, so let's just try to keep them concise. I really want to get to both of you.
I'm just going to hold this now. Oh, sorry.
It's smart.
So I have a question for Greg. So what was your favorite line for Kevin in Ben 10, Alien Force, and Ultimate Alien? And if it's something about his car, understandable.
You gotta treat a woman like you treat your car.
Yes! Yes! Thank you.
All right, final question. Bring us home.
Hi, I have a question for Greg. So I noticed you voiced Beast Boy in other stuff other than Teen Titans. So my question is, would you consider yourself the definitive voice of Beast Boy in the same respect that people see Kevin Conroy as the definitive voice of Batman?
Yes.
As well you should. Yeah, absolutely. Everyone, thank you so much.
And you can go to beastboy.com and see.
That's Officially branded. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming to the I Know That Voice panel. Thank you so much, Janet and Greg, for being here.
Thank you. All glories to Buddha.
And yeah, biggest thanks to Buddha, who really, the star of this panel. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a great rest of your Saturday.
Shake it out. Shake it out.
Yeah.